Hey, today we're going to do a super easy but really pretty eye. You know, it's pretty similar to what I do. I kind of do, like a lot of us do, the same thing. Maybe I changed up the colors. But I just did something yesterday and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So I'm going to take, you know me, I like to start with just a neutral color. So I'm going to take this and put this on my eyelid. Do a little more. And the key to your eyeshadow looking great, I think, is to be able to have a desk and to sit down and have lighting. And you know, I'm 51 and I didn't get all this till maybe like 2 years ago. So it takes time to make all these things happen, but it really helps. And the biggest key, once you have all this, is you need to take a picture of your makeup and look at it close up when you get done and see what you think about it. True story. It's crazy. It's crazy the things that we don't even know we're missing that we're missing. I'm going to dab that in this. And then this is my usual. We're going to start out here. We're going to lightly put color here. I have a hooded eye. And this looks really good on my hooded eye. And I encourage you to look at other makeup artists. You know, there's 8 million on YouTube, maybe 8 billion, who knows? Back in that color again for the other side. And pictures of makeup. It's funny to me when you go to somebody's website to order makeup and the pictures they have depicting what's available, you know, and what they do with it. Well, they just look like aliens to me a lot of times. I don't know what you want to call it. It's so futuristic, or, I mean, I can't wear that to the grocery store. Come on, makeup artists. We got to be able to wear this into Publix. I'm just living a normal life here. All right, so I'm just going to go back, touch this up, la, 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 la. And you know, these are just my go-to little fave colors. I'm going to use my little Sydney Grace medium blender in that same gray, because I just always feel like I need to hit right in there. Just me. I do. I don't know. And then I want to make it even, so we'll just... But it took time for me to figure out what I liked, what I thought looked good, all those things. All right, I'm just going to blend with this big fluffy blender. I read something not too long ago and it said you really, especially for a hooded eye, you should be using this little smaller brush, but I like the big one. So, you know, there we go. You got to use what you want to use. Use what feels good. It's trial and error. There are no wrong answers. Look, I tried to put extra eyeshadow in right there, and now I feel like this top part is darker. Come on. Get with it. Okay, well, typically this is easier for me. La, 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 la. But, you know, today it's being randomly difficult. It's funny because I really was thinking, like, this is going to be so easy and quick. And now it's like, Okay, let me look at it on camera. See, that's a thing I go to, and I haven't done it in a minute, is I will make this eye darker. Okay, more even. Yeah, feel like they're even now. Okay, so once you get your shadow on the outer edges built up to where you want it, and it can be a lot quicker than what it was for me today. So unfair. Okay, I'm totally thrown off course right now. All right, now you're gonna take your same little brush. You're gonna dip it still in your gray color or whatever is your favorite go-to. I mean, I've also got out my Morphe Midnight Dune, and I'm gonna play with that in a second. But for now, I'm still playing with this gray. Now I'm just going to take just a little under the eye. Nothing crazy. You know, I can get too heavy in 3 seconds. I don't think this is going to do what it did for me. yesterday. And then you're going to take this up because I've got too much on. It's already too dark. Maybe. I don't know. You know, I jumped the gun. I have to be so careful not to do this at work. I'll be looking at hair color I've just done. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know about this, this, and this. But I have learned to be quiet because if you just wait a minute, it's like, okay, wait a minute. That looks great. Anyway. Okay, so just bring that up. And maybe this is going to work. See, it's like the pressure's on because I'm filming. There's no pressure yesterday. I was just doing my makeup. Yeah, see, it almost does like a fake wing. I mean, I did bring it out, but it's not an actual wing. It's a fake wing. Fake wing hack. Which I think is great for a hooded eye. I personally have a hard time doing like a wing, but I think a wing done well is really pretty. I do not want to look like, I don't know. You know, some people have it. I just think it's too much. It's too much to be walking around Publix in. Apparently that's the most exciting place I go. My sister is online dating, excuse me, a little bit. And I'm not going to remember exactly, and she doesn't either. But one guy said, what do you like to do for fun? And she said, I like to run errands. And I mean, it was just like life. It's just life. It's like, you know, it's funny. We're like sisters. I just want to go to Publix and have my makeup look normal. Okay. I think this could have been a little bit lighter on what I did here, the first step. But it is what it is. And I'm not about to try to make it lighter now. Okay. Let me pick up my still favorite little Sydney Grace medium blender, and I'm going to take Morphe and I'm going to go into this dark color, which is called Moon Swept. Did y'all see that the Mars rover, the tires are like disintegrating? So, however, it says it's outlasted what they had predicted it would last anyway. So I'm like, okay, well, isn't that great? It's done really well. Congratulations, Mars rover. All right, so you know I always like to just pop in that little bit of a dark color in my outer corner, and then I bring in this little this is just a super soft shimmer. And for me, I need to brighten up that inner corner. Okay, I think this is going to be good. And curl these crazy lashes. So all my other makeup is done. I like to do it first. And I always, first thing, I start out with my magnification mirror and I look at my face in the magnification mirror. Make sure there's no hairs where hair shouldn't be. My chin loves to throw out a hair. It used to throw out a lot, but I had laser done. And that was great. And you need to get laser done before all your hairs turn gray, because the gray ones, they still gonna grow. Yeah, it doesn't get them. Isn't that crazy? I told somebody after I did the laser, I said, I almost waited too late, and they're looking at me. Or too long, I almost waited too long. I'm like, well, yeah, the gray ones. You stuck with, look, I forgot to do my eyeliner. I would be so sad if I put on a mascara and I didn't do my eyeliner. So I like to do just a smidge thicker, but I don't really want to do, like sometimes I thought, oh, let's party with the eyeliner in the outer corner. No, calm down, don't party. Just, it can just be a little thicker there. And then you're just going to go down to thin, like 2/3 the way across or so. And I love this eyeliner. It's the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal. It stays on me so good. I mean, it's amazing. If you're needing to see up close what I'm doing, just zoom in with your phone, pinch your screen. It's pretty cool. Anyway, it took me a minute to really learn how to use this. When I first started, I would have eyeliner everywhere. I did. And I didn't even smudge the top today, but I think it's fine. I really didn't have too much fallout, which is pretty exceptional for me. And then we're just gonna curl these lashes. Always curl your lashes. Always, always. When? Always. Even if the only makeup you're doing is throw on, curl your lashes, throw on some mascara, do some lip gloss, do some tinted sunscreen or tinted moisturizer. Shoot, that reminds me. Hold, please. I need to, if you have really dry skin, my friend Mary was just talking about her dry skin the other day, and there's some really great options for that. I don't have that, but my girlfriend Chasity does, so I'm going to text Chasity and ask her what are all her holy grail items, because my friend Mary needs to hear about these things, because she said she puts on her foundation and then during the day she's adding moisturizer, and she said, is that okay? And I said, no, that is not okay. Our foundations weren't made to have anything added to it. So I said, you ought to just try a tinted moisturizer, and then if you feel the need to throw on more moisturizer during the day, but you can build up a foundation. If you want to throw more moisturizer during the day, you could. But if you've already got a foundation of some good moisture going on in the beginning, I don't think she'll need to do that. I know Chasity swears by St. Jane's oil. And if you read the description on Sephora, because I've looked at it 100 times, because it says it's good for all skin types, which really makes me mad, because how many things are really good for all skin types? It probably just depends on the person. Maybe that's it. Okay, well, anyway. But she swears by that, and she swears by a couple other things. So I need to find out what exactly it is. The funny thing is Chastity's told me these things 100 times. So God bless her, because today's going to be 101. Okay. Get these eyelashes going. And I tried to do, okay, the curly girl thing that I'm seeing all the curly girls do online is they put their product in, their super, super wet hair, and then they're brushing it through. And they're like putting it in sections and then brush it through that section. And they'll even come through and like wrinkle it out and then do it again. Okay, well, I did it twice last week during the snow. And my hair looked awful. It did. It looked terrible. It was just... well, it wasn't as big as it normally is. And you know, I like big hair, and I cannot lie. So, went back to my regular scheduled programming, like the curly hair tutorial video I have, which is my most watched video. Whoop, whoop. And do what I always do. And my hair looks great. I shampooed it like Thursday. I woke up like this. Yeah. It's funny though, people will say, oh, do you just love your curly hair? No, I don't just love my curly hair. I think it looks good. But then I'm like, this isn't what I want. Okay, so I have great hair. So yesterday, literally, my thought was, well, what do you want? I think I want to grow it out some, but every time I try to do that, I go cut it. I've got a picture of what I want. Also, though, this is easier, so maybe I need to think about my life's choices, because the picture of what I want involves curling it, and that takes time. And this is really easy. Okay, I have a little bit of mascara under my eyeball, but I think it's dry enough that I can just flick it off. Whoop, whoop. Flick off a couple of other things with my Q-tip. Lately, I forget to do my highlighter when I'm on camera, and then I put it on afterwards because I love it. I think it makes a big difference. Okay, there's my makeup. I'm probably going to curl my lashes just a little bit more. Okay, so that's the other thing. Mascara takes a minute. So funny. My friend Beth told me, y'all, easily 20 years ago, probably more than that, probably 25 years ago, Beth said, well, I had this teeny tiny makeup bag. So cute, so tiny. And she goes, where's the rest of your makeup? And I said, well, that is all my makeup. And she goes, you will have more makeup as you get older. Very wise words. Oh yes, very wise words. I have so much makeup. And I don't even have as much as a lot of my friends do. I mean, I probably have 20 eyeshadow palettes right now. I guess that's a lot, but I have friends that have so much more. Oh, it's not a competition. Don't compare yourself to others. I got what I like, and I use what I have, and I give away stuff I don't like. If you want to be the recipient of stuff that I give away, let me know, because I'm not ready to give anything away right now, but it'll happen, and then I'll just be like, I'm ready to give a bunch of stuff away. You know, the other thing that will really improve your makeup is you should start a YouTube channel. My makeup has improved so much since I started this, to the point where I'm out in public and people are like, your makeup looks really good. And I'm like, finally. Okay. All right. I think it worked. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that on camera. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, it did it. Well, I don't know if it was as easy as I had hoped it would be, but it's pretty and it looks good. It's very flattering. So there you go. There's my, I hope it was easy, eyeshadow hack for a great little kind of fake wing, but it just looks good. And I got a lot of compliments on this look yesterday, as a matter of fact. Thanks for watching so much. I really appreciate it. And I love y'all. I mean, like, my friend Peggy called me the other day after watching my video about Snowmageddon, and she's like, do I need to reschedule my appointment? I'm like, that is the sweetest thing ever in the whole history of the whole wide world. But we didn't have to reschedule. And I did her hair, and oh my gosh, it was so pretty. I took a picture, and if I edited these videos, I'd put that picture in there. But you know what? I'm going to say it'd be on my Instagram, but I don't know that it's on Instagram. I don't think it is. Okay, you know what I'm going to do real super fast is I have had a couple of people ask me to tell you guys about myself. So let me see if I can do that. I've tried to do it before though. Just caveat, I have tried to talk about myself and I just felt like it completely bombed. I'm 51. I've done hair since 1993. When I got out of high school, I knew that I wanted to go to beauty school, and I did. And so I'm very blessed because, you know, a lot of people don't know what they want to do. And that's okay. You just keep doing the things. And we don't have to do the same thing all our lives. We can change it up and do different things. I got married to my first husband also in 93. And we had 2 kids, Brian and Christopher. They're now 24 and 22. They live with us. I got divorced in 2017 after 24 years of marriage. I had no idea the things that had been happening in my marriage that I want to make a video that kind of talks about some of this stuff, but there's some things I don't want to say because I don't want to hurt my kids. And I don't know if one day they would ever watch any of these videos, but if you talk to me in person, I'll tell you all the details. Sorry, kids, but you know I will. Let's see. But getting a divorce was the scariest thing that ever happened to me in my entire lifetime. I was petrified. Absolutely petrified. I mean, I cried and cried and cried. But I realized very quickly I was not crying over my marriage. My heart had been broken years ago. I had already mourned the loss of my marriage. It was pretty wild. So anyway, we got a divorce, and I was so happy. I'm still so happy. After he left, the ex-husband left, I just would find myself smiling for no reason. It was amazing. And one day I wanted to read a book that was like really, I was like, I want to learn something new today. And God led me to a book called The Covert Passive Aggressive Narcissist. And I think it's by Debbie Mirza. If that title like rings a bell with you, The Covert Passive Aggressive Narcissist, then please go look that up and read it, because it was life-changing. I also went to therapy. Let me write this down. So I'm doing the initials. CPA. I'm like, I am never going to know what that means later. So I can make sure I put a link in here. Covert, passive, aggressive, narcissist. Okay. Also went to therapy. I went to divorce care. It was great. And finding a good therapist is hard. And if you live in this area, I have the best therapist in the whole widest world. In fact, if you don't even live in this area, because he can Zoom you, but he doesn't always take new patients or clients, or he's not a doctor, he's just a therapist. But he is phenomenal. In fact, my husband, so I'm married now. Okay, well, I have a funny story though about Ernie, but let me tell it and see if I can go back. See, this is why I can't tell my history, because I'm very random. I'm a squirrel running around. Anyway, Ernie told me something the other day, and he said, you know, this is just really bothering me. And I said, would you go to therapy about that? And I thought he said yes. And so the next day I texted my therapist and I just told him, you know, here's what's happening. I think 1 or 2 sessions, you know, would really, really benefit Ernie, and that's all he would need. And so Neil's like, absolutely, we can do. He's like, if he doesn't mind waiting till into February. I'm like, no, it's fine. And as soon as I booked the appointment, I'm like, did Ernie say yes to that? So I come bebopping over to where Ernie is, and I'm like, hey, did you agree to see a therapist? And he goes, well, no. I said, well, great. I've got you an appointment in February. So anyway, so I was single. I traveled to New York with my mom. Gosh, that was fun. I took my kids and my mom we went to Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta. Me and the boys did a trip to St. Louis. My ex-husband didn't really like to travel. He likes to go to the beach. But I like to go to all the places. So I have traveled so much. I mean, I've traveled so much. It's been great. I hate to say, like, I think divorce is a great option, but in some cases, man, divorce is a great option. And I mean, it's a whole nother subject to talk about how we're told. I was always preached in church, you don't get a divorce, you don't get a divorce. I mean, my mom got a divorce for, ironically, many of the same reasons. And I mean, I sat in church next to her as an adult, as a married mom, sat next to her in church, and people in church would tell her that she shouldn't have gotten a divorce. And she had biblical reasons, and as did I, for getting a divorce. And, you know, the stigma that stops you from getting a divorce, let me tell you, once you get that divorce, they ain't no stigma, you're fine. Now, sometimes there will be that. I didn't personally experience this, but I just had a friend tell me about this 2 weekends ago. Her husband passed away, so this can happen if your husband passes away, or if you get a divorce, that some people will like not want to hang out with you anymore. They get all weird, like you're going to try to take their man. Honey, I don't want your man. Speaking of wanting a man, though, let me get back on track with my story, is I finally did online dating. Well, a guy walked up to me. I wanted to be single for a year, and I was literally a year and a day after my ex-husband had walked out the door. A guy walked up to me at Green Hills Mall and asked me out, and we dated for 5 months, and I learned so much from that experience. I needed to learn those things, I think. But then we broke up, and then I started online dating, and I would just say, if you're online dating, to really trust your gut. You know more than you think you know. You're smarter than you might think you are. There's so many scammers out there. But the site that I really fell in love with, and it's for over 50, it's called Our Time, and I'll put that down in the notes below. Ourtime.com. And I was like 45 and I got on it. But immediately, now this is, you know, 5-ish, 6-ish years ago. I met Ernie in 2018. So, and we got married. I met him September 1st, 2018, and we got married April 6th, 2019. So this year will be our 5th wedding anniversary. Gosh, it's going to be here in a minute because it's in April. So anyway, and the one thing I had a problem with was going out to dinner with somebody and realizing pretty quickly, this is not going to work for me. And what time is it? Because I do have to go to work today. So I would say that I finally got to the point where I knew if I went out on a date with somebody and we went to dinner and I knew immediately this isn't going to work, that I was just going to say, thank you so much for meeting me. This isn't going to work out. Bye. And just get up and walk away. And the funny thing is I was completely prepared to do that when I went on my first date with Ernie, and our first date lasted 8 hours. We went to dinner at Demas's, and then he had already bought tickets to 3rd and Lindsley. There was a Fleetwood Mac tribute band playing there. And so he was like, if the date goes well, then he was going to ask me if I wanted to go do that. And so we're sitting there at Demas's, which we met at 4 because I didn't want the restaurant to be too full in case I needed to get up and exit. He was like, do you like Fleetwood Mac? And I said, yeah. And he said, would you like to see a tribute band tonight? And I'm like, well, that sounds great. Well, it didn't start till 8. I don't know what time it started, So anyway, we hung out there, and then we just got to 3rd and Lindsley early, and it was a great first date. Our second date was 2 days later. We went kayaking, and then we went over to his family's house. Second date, I met his family. And oh my gosh, they're amazing. They were amazing then. They are amazing now. And I would say you need to like your partner's family because they're going to be around. So it's great that I love his family and they're awesome, because that was not the case in the first marriage. And people told me that. People said, you need to be digging this family. And I was like, oh, whatever, it'll be fine. It was really hard. Okay. So I've totally digressed. I just, went off the rails, talking about all the things. Anywho, so now Ernie and I have been married almost 5 years, as established. My grown kids live with us. My oldest has been a welder for 3 years, and he just changed jobs, and now he is calibrating large scales. Isn't that cool? Like truck scales, and they go to places that, like say a big factory that makes bread, and they have to weigh all those ingredients. So all those scales, and it's very interesting. And my youngest works at a coffee shop, and both boys are kind of hippies, but the youngest, my 22-year-old Christopher, he's very much a hippie. We have 9 cats. We do. We have 9 cats. And 5 of them are inside, and 4 of them have outside privileges. I personally consider myself to be an indoor cat with outside privileges. And then I always feel like I have to follow up with, you're welcome to come over to my house anytime, because my house smells amazing. And if you want to have cats and you want your house to smell amazing, here's your secret on how to do that. Scoop your cat litter box every single day. Period. The end. That's it. Seriously, that's all you have to do. My husband, it's on my cat's Instagram account. I'll put that on here, cat's Instagram. So I'll make sure I can't talk and write at the same time. Cat's IG. Okay. On my cat's Instagram is the litter box Ernie built for my cats. I ought to pin that to the top of the page because it is pretty stinking cool. He built a huge piece of furniture. It's sitting right over there. There it is. And it holds 3 litter boxes. It holds litter supplies. And that has really cut down on litter being in the room anywhere. There's no more. There's a little bit, but I mean, used to the litter boxes were just in here. And so cat litter was just a nightmare. So anyway, that box. If I'd known how great that box was going to be, I'd have been like, you need to build that. You needed to have built that thing a long time ago. So anyway, and I will say too, like people who come over can't believe it when we say we have 9 cats. Like they don't even know we have 1 cat. So you can have cats and have a clean, fabulous house. I like a clean house. It gives me anxiety for my house to not be clean. So, it just makes me feel good. I just think it's pretty, and it brings me peace, makes me happy. Let's see. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I've always loved Jesus. Just last Sunday, I had a conversation with a girl at church, and she was like, when was your moment? When were you saved? And I said, I don't have that moment. And so there are people who disagree with me that like it doesn't count because I didn't have that moment. And, but I've always been a Christian. I mean, my mom raised me in the church. I've just always believed in Jesus. You know, I was baptized as an infant in the Catholic Church. And I've gone to a lot of churches. And then we were in a Pentecostal church when I was in 2nd grade. Loved that church. And I asked to be baptized again just because I wanted to be for a public proclamation. And then we went to a bunch of different other churches. And then at one point when I was 15, I was going to a Baptist church here in Mount Juliet, and they wanted to baptize me. And I said, well, I've already been baptized twice. And they said, well, those don't count. We were just talking about this in the salon with Peggy. And I was 15 years old, and I was not good at standing up for myself, but I sure did with that. I said, oh no, they did count. I've been baptized twice. I don't need to be baptized again. And then we left that church and went to the Catholic church. So I'm not even kidding. I think my Sunday school teacher at the Baptist church cried. She was so worried for me. I was going straight to hell. So we went to the Catholic church for a while. Then we went to the Methodist church, and I really liked the Methodist church. And then I went to a Methodist church here in Mount Juliet. Loved it. Oh my gosh, Grace United Methodist. It was just the best. Then we go, Ernie's church it's called Providence. It's in Hartsville. It's Providence Community Church. It's fantastic. It's just a sweet little family church. And then now we also go to Mount Zion, and we go to the Jefferson Street location. And oh my gosh, that pastor, Bishop Walker, he's on YouTube. I'll put a link. Let me write this down. In fact, I need to send that to Peggy too. His sermons are amazing. I love them so much. And I also, though, think it's better live. So we go to the Jefferson Street location. It's this old church. It actually holds 700, and it is packed every Sunday. You are sitting shoulder to shoulder. It is packed. So good, though. Okay. We have a dog. His name is Jojo. His name is really Joker, but I rename all my kids' animals, so I call him Jojo. And there you go. I think that's everything. I don't know. Got any questions? I love to talk about myself, clearly. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.